Yo, moin Freunde, alles gut bei euch? Willkommen zurück in der Nerd Crate. Heute Abend mal wieder mit einem kleinen Crate Hangout. So ein bisschen unüblichere Uhrzeit, aber das machen wir deswegen, weil es mittlerweile in Allentown, Pennsylvania gerade mal nachmittags ist und deswegen ist das hier entsprechend ein bisschen später. Wir sind 6 Stunden vorher und deswegen machen wir das heute so. Ich switch jetzt auf Englisch. Ich hoffe, das ist kein Problem. Für alle, die es trotzdem schauen, vielen lieben Dank und ich wünsche euch natürlich viel Spaß. Mikey, what's up, dude? Good to see you.
Tim, good to see you too, man. It has been a minute since we did this the last time.
Exactly. The last time we actually saw, the only time, sadly, we actually saw a one-on-one was the TFCon 2018 Chicago.
Yeah. 7 years ago. It was wild, right?
Crazy.
Yep.
Like also New York Mike was still alive. That was crazy.
Yeah. He was such a nice guy too, man.
Yeah. Big time. Like I also met him once, and then on the Nerds Have Spoken podcast later on. That was a rough hit for the community, I would say. I mean, he was generally loved, right?
He really was. Yeah, he definitely didn't hear anybody saying a bad thing about them, and if he was, it wasn't. I didn't hear any of it. It was always very positive when talking about Mike. Yeah,
exactly, dude. We have been doing this before, but back then we were talking collector stuff, and of course you still do Reflector Files, but now you're not in saying like future endeavors. You're in the middle of a new endeavor.
That is
you
correct.
Just went freelance big time. Dragonstar Inc. is now. I mean, it was always your company, so to speak, but now it's your company. That's your day job. You are doing this now.
Well, just to correct you real quick, so the Dragonstar, that's like the nerd shirts that I do at the cons and stuff, so that's kind of a little bit of a separate thing. The actual my business still Transformer name related, but it's called Starscreen Graphics.
That I didn't quite find that. That was that I saw that logo and I thought, okay, still there, but it was logic and genius.
So I'm working for myself. I actually I quit my full-time job maybe like about 3 or 4 months ago, and I got a part-time job because I was worried I wasn't getting a ton of work, right away, and I just wanted to be responsible, make sure I had a little bit of money coming in. But I was probably about a month and a half into the part-time job, and I realized that it was kind of just getting in the way.
Really?
I wasn't starting until 9, and I wasn't getting done until 1. I was working 4 hours a day. So by the time I got home and ate my lunch and got started on my own stuff, I wasn't getting started on that until like around 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Man, I did, I got some decent sized jobs right out of the gate. As a matter of fact, Brandon from the Chosen Prime ordered like 330 shirts. And that was a big job, and there were a few other ones, and I just knew that I needed more time than the couple hours a day that I had when I was working the part-time job. So I ended up quitting that one and taking the proverbial plunge. So so far so good. I can't complain. I know it's not always going to be super busy, and there's going to be lulls in the action and stuff like that, but so far it's I have a hard time not saying it's one of the best decisions that I ever made, for sure.
Yeah, that's I guess so. Like I can feel that. Like I didn't do that plunge yet. I don't know if it will ever happen with the Collectors Bay, but just generally taking the plunge into any kind of freedom, pretty much you are left with that thought of, you can't put a price tag on peace of mind, what I said prior, because I'm not living in the same town anymore that I was living back then. I'm not in my hometown anymore. I actually moved down 3.5 hours in Germany, and living next to my business partner. So that was a big plunge, just a whole different area, somewhat of a new business venture too. So I feel that. It's a big step, but just to have another form of freedom, like you with work, you don't have what you ever always say in your Facebook post, shitty ass boss that always was looking over your shoulder and whatnot. That dude is gone, but he wasn't probably gone because you had some walk in with him in the week, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, right.
So what was that like? They were coming ahead at you and saying, so you dude, you are doing good work, but I mean, we kind of could need you because, you know, some contracting was kind of left and we can't quite do it. Well, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a small business that I worked for. And I will say that dude, most of the time was cool because it was like, it was a small business. So it was almost like he treated it kind of like a family business. And I think that that's how he looked at many of the employees. But you know how it is with your family. Like you get way madder at your family than you do at just like the regular public. And I think he got a little too comfortable with that sometimes, you know, and there were just some things that I tried to, you know, some things that he said over the years that I tried to just kind of chalk up to him being you know, he was 73. So it was like, just a, you know, grumpy old man. But there was a time or two that he really like crossed the line. And it was, the thing with the cat at the end, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole story, but he really like, I wanted to go home an hour early to hang out with our one cat Yukon that we were putting down that night. And I just went, and I never take days off from that job. I was there, snow, I was there. I never got sick. I basically took off for funerals. I took off for my grandmother's funeral and I took off when a couple of our pets died, and that was it over 6 years. Yeah. And he gave me a hard time. I don't even want to say what he said to me, but he gave me a hard time about that day. And like, to me, that was it for me. I went straight home and I started putting my resume all over monster.com and Indeed and everything, trying to find something new. But not long story short, we're here now and it's all good. And I wouldn't change a damn thing.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Like, that's also where I come in thinking, okay, you say you treat that like a family business, but you don't treat family like this. I mean, that's his cat, you know, like for God know how many years, and that is supposed to be over, like done. There are a few more hours he wants to spend with it. So we're talking family here, the family that you choose, you know, the fur family. So how can you say stuff like that? Whatever he said, you know, like if it's okay, if it's diplomatic, like how he put it, whatever, you just don't do it. If you are there all the time doing extra hours, and no matter, you just don't do that. In my world, at least, I would say, in my head canon, so to speak.
In most people's, honestly.
Right. So. Right. That's pretty much it. But dude,
I will say this real quick. I had like a very adult moment when I left that job, because everything about me and the way I've been in the past and the way I grew up and everything like that all pointed to me like basically really like telling them how it was my final day there before I left.
That's so.
But I was like, I was having a good couple of weeks and I was feeling kind of some like positive mojo and shit. Yeah. And I just went up to him and I shook his hand and I said, you know, I learned a lot here, and you know, I was like basically thanking him for my 6 years there, and he did the same. So now I'm actually doing work here and there. He pitches me when he has too much work to do, or there's some things that I did there that he still hasn't replaced. He'll actually sub that work out to me. So I'm even getting some work out of it too. So that worked out.
There's an upside to walk in the high ground, right?
Yeah, sometimes, most of the time, yeah.
It really is. Like I've been learning somewhat of that too. Like my buddy Dennis, he's mostly, we're both Scorpio, you know? But I'm like the darker side of the Scorpio. He's more like the high ground kind of dude. So mostly in any kind of discussions, he's mostly like, dude, don't just, you know, right side in, left side out, whatever. Like, keep it to the high ground. That mostly works. And I somehow, in some instances, I actually kind of start to live that, but it's a rough time for me. Like, I mean, I'm 44 almost myself, so it's a rough time to keep the few, I don't know, a few ways of life just behind you and to learn, you know, old dogs and all that stuff. But it's kind of working. And sometimes you just feel, okay, I probably filled up that karma meter a little bit, just a little bit with that.
It's funny that you mentioned that you guys are Scorpios, because I'm a Leo and I was born like right in the middle of the Leo phase, and I have every damn bad quality of the Leo. So, you know, we're a little loud and hard-headed and opinionated, and
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah, Scorpios can be stubborn too, and a whole lot of other things, you know, like bad with learning and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff involved, and you better not cross us. You better not cross us, or that bridge get burned to a crisp very, very fast.
No doubt.
But dude, anyway, this is still a collector podcast. So,
yes.
Did you get a haul? Did you get anything new?
So the last thing that I got of note was the Cole Slither, was the G.I. Joe Cole Slither box set.
Yeah.
Which was very cool because I'm a G.I. Joe fan, but I'm also a metalhead. So that like whole idea of Cole Slither kind of speaks to me.
Yeah.
But I'm behind on a lot of stuff. I have a new outlook on collecting as far as like I eat right and I exercise and I feel like I'm going to be around a while, so that allows me to be very patient. And I don't pre-order anything anymore.
Really?
I'm so tired of like, you know, I'll give you a good example. Like I bought I pre-ordered every KFC Junkion there was, except for Psykill, but all the you know, Rekgar and those other like maybe 8 or 9 of them, I pre-ordered all of those. I paid $125 when they came out. I saw them on a Black Friday sale a couple of years later for like $34.99.
Oh,
you know, Trailbreaker, the Fan Toys Trailbreaker, I paid $150 for that when it came out, as many of us did. I saw that on a sale, like a customer appreciation sale at one point for $75, you know? So it was kind of like and things are getting expensive to begin with. Like the whole world has gotten very expensive over the last couple of years.
Yeah, man.
And with me kind of venturing into this working for myself thing, I was kind of cutting out some of the frivolous spending just until I establish myself and I know that I'm going to have that frivolous spending money again. So, so those are all kind of factors that went into me, not quitting, but just kind of, you know, not being on top of all the pre-orders and stuff.
Yeah. Slowing down just an overall, right?
Slowing down a little bit. Also, not for nothing, but the universe is filling out, man. Like there's not really, I'm not one to always upgrade to the newest one that comes out. Sometimes I get one and it's like, hey, this version of this character is good enough and this is the one I'm going to stick with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so the Transformers universe that we're both very into is, if you look at in MP scale, it's not complete, but I mean, it's pretty damn close. You know, there's a lot of characters that are already done. And, you know, so when you see a new reveal and it's like, oh, great, it's a new Optimus Prime, or it's a new Soundwave, or it's a new this or new that. We've you know, a new Devastator, new Dinobots. Like, hey, we don't need that anymore, you know? So
it's the big six. The big six just get retreaded all the time. Like you have new companies, like what you say is so true, dude. You have new companies, you look at that and you see people like us mostly look at new stuff and think like, I see a few joints here that could be interesting for transforming whatnot. But then you think, okay, you seemingly got some engineering prowess. Why start with that character? I mean, the OP fatigue is real, you know?
Yeah. It's actually one of the reasons why Fans Hobby is currently one of my favorite companies, because they are just doing some, you know, right out of the gate. I think the Monster Bots might have been the first set that they did. So it was like,
wasn't even Repugnance the first, or what? I believe so, right?
I think Repugnance was the first one. Yeah. And it was like, all right, you guys are speaking my language now, because instead of doing Springer, or something, you know, a Devastator or whatever, they just dove right into, you know, tail end of G1. And granted, you're as a business decision, you're not gonna the Monster Bots aren't gonna sell as much as an Optimus Prime figure would. But if you're going into the Optimus Prime market, you're fighting with 6 or 7 different versions of Optimus Prime. When you're doing the Monster Bots, you're fighting with nobody.
Yeah, you're just one kernel, you know, in a whole pan of corn. Like, how will you survive? You know, that's just crazy. Like same to me. Like I haven't been getting a whole lot of Fans Hobby. I have 3 from them. I got their Power Baser, which was my first jam into Power Master. Yeah, it's cool, super cool. I got it as a Guardian, right? And then I have their Dreadwind and their Darkwing. and I got that set up in bot modes, and I got the G1s in front of them as the jets.
Yeah.
So that's just amazing. And Dennis also, he's also super into fans hobby. Like, I mean, the Dreadwind mode isn't the best due to the feet and being super loose on the ball and whatnot. But I mean, they do the Euro G1, and that's where he is all over. You know, he just got his New Age figure, like for that, man, what's that guy called? I mean, New Age name was Cannonball. It was that bright yellow pickup they made from their Keaton, from their hoist.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just don't know what the G1 name was, and he got that.
Yeah, me neither.
That was super smart. Like, retooling wise, New Age is very, very good, but on the topic of actually tackling the tail end, that's exactly what I mean. You know, you have so many characters, also movie wise, you have so many characters from these 40 years of Transformers, and always get tackled either the ones you know anyhow, like the I don't know, gazillionth iteration, or they come up with something new where you think, why? We have 40 years worth of characters. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. There's so much out there. And then you have, just to speak a little bit Bayverse, you have Transformers 3, and you had what, like 5 minutes of Shockwave with a worm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't get it. And I'm with you on the whole thing of slowing a little bit down. Like, I'm actually, if I'm very lucky, for my birthday, I would actually get the Swan Song to my collection. I ordered my first and only statue.
Which one did you get?
The Prime 1, 3rd scale, Terminator 2 endoskeleton.
Oh, wow.
So that's a huge piece.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's currently doing the rounds. I got the space for it and whatnot. But that's supposed to be my Swan Song. But then I said, okay, yeah, but Legends-wise, I still got a few things that I want to actually have. And saying what you say, you know, just keep it easy. Don't adhere to exactly one thing. Be flexible and don't jump on it right away. Just be cool, you know. Just patience saves pockets. That's a true word. And I said to myself, I don't need New Age all the time. Now they come out with a Volcanicus, which is extremely weird. And so I said, I want to have some combiners. And now I actually got the Craftsman Toys Computron.
That looks nice. That Computron is really nice.
It's cool. I got that here. So that's almost done.
Oh, I didn't realize they were so far into it. I thought only the nose cone was out.
No, they brought the nose cone out, and then Scattershot and Strafe were as a double pack, and the last two are actually also a double pack, and that will be finished in a few weeks. This is actually starting to do the rounds. Mang Motion just did a video on that, and I'm gonna do the same approach I did for the Mini Superitron Zeta did. I butchered the Toy Hack sticker set and made a G1 toy version out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for that too. But yeah, speaking of buying, dude, like I want to pedal back to your new venture. Like, how is that with utilities and periphery for the job and whatnot? Like, where you actually, I mean, you were probably set up pretty big for Dragonstar with screen printing and whatnot for shirts anyway, or did you actually get some new stuff? Did you get it from Craigslist, where you set up from friends, or any other, you know, vitamin C, how you say? So
I'll be completely honest with you. The only piece of actual equipment I have besides the computer that we're on right now, is a heat press. Is my heat press for the shirts.
Really?
I don't actually do any of the screen printing. A lot of times it's they have a lot of nice new technology out there. Like back in the day when you got transfers, it felt like you were wearing like a piece of kitchen tile on your chest. Like it was very, very plasticky and stuff.
Like this one, you know, I mean, listen to that.
I can hear it. Yeah, I can hear it.
The print is cool. The quality of the shirt is amazing, but I got that and I was like, okay, what is that board on my chest, you know?
Yeah, the stuff I work with is this stuff. I found this outfit in the next state over called Ace, and they put screen printing ink, actual screen printing ink, onto the transfers. So when you transfer that onto the shirt, it's actually screen printing ink. Now, the screen printing process, I don't want to bore everybody, but I will say that you need a hell of a lot of equipment, and especially if you're doing multiple color shirts, you need yeah, you need a lot of equipment and all that stuff. And doing it the way that I do it, kind of, now you'd make more money if you had all the equipment, because you wouldn't, you know, the transfers are a little pricey, but it's so easy. And I could just, we have this addition that we just built on the house that acts as a studio. I'm looking at my heat press right now. I got this computer, all the other printing stuff. I do the graphic design, and I have memberships with various wholesalers. You know, this business does paper products, you know, business cards, flyers, envelopes, this, that, and the other thing. This outfit does banners and signs and whatnot, you know. So I have a world
Network.
of a network of, you know, basically like wholesaler sites. And the nice thing about that is I could drop ship to anywhere in the country. So I could have clients in California if I wanted them, and which is good, you know. You know, again, not having the, like, I would have make more off of each job if I had the equipment, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of space, machines break down, the overhead of owning a shop, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm doing all this work right here in my own house, with the exception of going out on installs from time to time. But for all you know, I don't even have pants on right now. So, which is how I work sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong, and like Nessa leaves and goes to work, and I come down here and I'm like sitting here and I look down and like, I'm just in my basketball shorts that I wore to bed last night, you know, and it don't even matter. Like, so that part of it is really cool. But yeah,
but that's the upside, you know. You have no rent, like you said, for an extra shop. You have no extra utilities. You just were set up pretty much right away. So you were able to just take your money and maximize everything, kind of, I feel.
Yeah. And the one smart thing that I did, that I didn't do on purpose, but I did for myself over the years, is I always freelanced, even if it was just a little bit. So over the last bunch of years, I've been slowly building like a client base. So it's not like I just started a business from nothing and then had to go look for clients. Like, I already kind of had people that knew what I did. So that made getting started a little bit easier, for sure.
I guess so. But did you I don't know, kind of tow customers from the old job too, or were they like willingly, oh, you're doing your own shit? Yeah, we got a few things for you. Yeah, you don't have to worry, like stuff like that.
There was definitely there was a small handful of my customers at the old shop that followed me.
Cool.
Yeah, which was nice. And every once in a while, like, I still keep in touch with the secretary over there, and she's like, you know, so-and-so came in and asked for you, and I told them that you left, and they were like really disappointed. So that's always nice to hear, but it's even better when they get in touch with me and I get to pick up a little bit of work. So
yeah, I guess so. Dude, that's so cool. Like, I'm genuinely happy for you. Like, when I hear that, it's rough over here to actually do that, because we have so much utilities to pay for, taxes and whatnot. And I feel like America has a little bit more freedom to that, and therefore you can, I don't know, like I said, more freedom. You can just easier just execute stuff. And in Germany, you have, sometimes I get the feeling, whole woods thrown between your legs, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird times over here too, because the economy's kind of, I don't want to drag any kind of politics onto this show at all, but our economy is not what it was in the past, and it's a little bit of a weird time, I guess, to start a business because of that, because everything else is so expensive. I don't know what the housing market is like over there, but like the housing market over here is absolutely outrageous. Like,
it's horrendous. I don't know what it's like actually, because I'm living in an apartment, and you know, cultures American to Germany are that different, that America, mostly people just save up and get a house on their own. That's mostly what I feel like. Like, apartments is not really the usual way of living. Like, especially when we talk, like, I don't know, in the main town, like for you, like Philadelphia or New York or whatever, like, apartments are just hyper expensive with
outrageous. They're
small
outrageous
spaces, you know, you can barely get a foot across of each other or whatever. Germany, it's actually that, I want to say it's mostly kind of reserved for families to get houses, But singles or people like me that started out as single and now I'm in a relationship, we mostly get a 1 or 2 room apartment for us, and that mostly enough. I actually, when I was in my hometown and the whole situation with the neighbors and whatnot got so horrible, I was actually also thinking about, man, maybe get some kind of a loan and whatever, and just set you up for a house or whatnot, and then you're only responsible for yourself, because that's actually a good way of living. You know, you got your own house and you got shit to do for yourself, utilities and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
But you learn so much, and you are not bound to a landlord, and mostly
Right.
mostly a shitty landlord. That's what happens, you know.
Yeah, the apartments are, yeah, they're very expensive over here. Like sometimes friends of mine that will, like, they'll move into apartments and tell me what they're paying per month compared to what my mortgage is here. Like we're in a single home on a corner, and we have a nice amount of space in here, and it's just like, man, we're paying less in mortgage. And now I bought the house 20 years ago, but yeah, rent's crazy. I'll tell you this about my attitude towards renting versus buying a house. I bought my first house when I was only 19. I moved out at 19 already, and it was because of my mom. Like, this is something that she kind of instilled in me, and it always stuck with me. But she said, why pay somebody else's mortgage when you can pay your own? When you're renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgage, and you're letting them build up equity in this property, rather than if you bought a house and you were paying your own mortgage, you're building up your own equity. So not only is it like that you have your own place to live, but you're also, like, real estate's the best investment anybody could make.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much. Like, if you would tell somebody over here, 19, your first house, that would be like eye opener big time. Like, that's something that I never heard over here, and
yeah,
I couldn't actually say if that would happen. Like, if you would, I don't know, break off from your family or whatnot, and you have no other choice, and there's a chance, maybe, but I've never heard of it. So that's just way different over here. But I mean,
it happened weird for me too. It was my mom actually moved out. I lived with my mom, and I told her I was going to go look for an apartment because I just kind of wanted to live on my own. And she's like, I'm just going to sell you this house. So she moved out and moved in with her boyfriend. She married eventually. So I basically stayed in the same house, but instead of living with my mom, then it was mine. So I just bought it from her. So it was a little bit of that's a little bit of a different situation. But Nessa was also out, I think, at 19. I think she got her first, either 19 or 20. Yeah.
You guys are together a long time, right? Like, I mean, what was that? 2014, 2015 when you actually got into each other?
We're going on year 9. Yeah.
9. Yeah.
It would have been
20.
I got divorced, or I got separated in, was it 2015 or 2016? I think it was 2015. I got separated and divorced from my ex-wife, and I met Vanessa in the following year. So it would have been 2016. Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
I could see you were also probably one of the guys never too long single, right? Like,
like later on in life, yes. When I was younger, not so much. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I was a much different person than I am now. I was very, very awkward, and I was like almost the same height I am now, and I probably weighed like 60 pounds less. So I was just a little skinny, like
no.
pizza face. Like, I had every day. Yeah, it was rough times, man. But since after divorce, yeah, no, I didn't have any issues really. Like, I don't want to. Well, so after I got divorced the first time, I should say the first time, like, it's going to happen again. But after I got divorced, the first thing I did was just go back through all my DMs. Like, from the last couple like all the ones like that I ignored because I was married. I'm like, oh shit, I got to go back and check those.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I was like, there's like the band stereotype. Like, so I was out there playing, and it's not like I was always getting hit on by women that I wanted to hit on me, but there were some. So it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot easier when I got older. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for me too. Like my first girlfriend, I was super late. My first girlfriend was when I was actually 21, so that was super late. And then there was a time where it was somewhat one after the other, but there was always big time between it, you know, like half a year, 1 year, 2 years, and people from my kind of clique kind of thing, they were like always in a relationship or always some kind of hookup, whatever. But now I was actually on my longest with 7.5 years. And now all of a sudden I have a girl.
I saw, yeah, man. I'm happy for you. I saw.
Thanks, man. And the weird thing is she spends more stuff at the toy store than I am.
That's perfect.
So that was kind of crazy, but that also came to fruition pretty interesting. We know us 6 years already. We started out a little different, but then we actually started dating at the beginning of the year, and yeah, it just felt right, you know, and it was bound to happen. I was thinking like, yeah, I mean, that's cool, but couldn't that have happened maybe a little bit earlier? That would have been good too, because
yeah, but it's like, it's the butterfly effect, man. Like if you, I say that sometimes too, like I wasted a lot of time in my first marriage, and I'm not here to just crush my ex-wife. Like we actually get along now. We're buddies. We text each other during Eagles games sometimes. Like we're cool, but the marriage was garbage.
Yeah.
And so I wasted a lot of time. I was with her from age 24 to 38.
Wow.
So I gave her the prime of my life, and we never had kids, which I did kind of want to have. So I wasted a lot of time with her, man. And I didn't meet Nessa until I was 40. And I was like, man, I wish I could have spent more time that I wasted with this one, with you, you know. But the way that we always look at it is that it just everything, the universe takes care of you, man, one way or another. Like you always end up where you're supposed to end up. And I'm pretty sure I told you the same thing in not so many words in conversations we've had in the past. Like you just you will end up where you need to end up. So
yeah, it seems like you were actually right on that one, big time actually. So yeah, but I feel that, like my previous girlfriend too, we had a bit of a falling out. We were together 4 years, which was also kind of long for me. And then we had that falling out, and now we are actually friends, and we're actually on the point currently. We had that on 1 or 2 conversations where we actually said, yeah, I mean, maybe that relationship was a mistake. We're better as friends, right?
Yeah.
Because we started out after that falling out, started talking and whatnot, and it started to feel like that old friendship, which was cool.
Yeah.
And then I moved here, and she's still up in the hometown, and she was like, dude, I'm so done with the kid and whatnot. I need some time off. Like I need to get out of here. I'm like, listen, that's a weird proposition, but I got space here. I got greens and villages and a little bit of hills, and it's beautiful. You get the couch, you get a key to the apartment, and you do whatever you like. If we want to do stuff together, we do that. Otherwise, I just leave you be. You can walk through the fields and whatnot and just, you know, chill out, take your head out of the game, whatever. And she thought about it, and at first she was like, yeah, but we just came back to knowing us the normal way without arguing, whatnot. Isn't that super weird? And I'm like, it's not like we're cuddling on the couch or whatnot. I'm sleeping over there, and you got the couch. So
right.
I mean, I can understand that it feels weird for you, but doesn't it feel like we're back to friends the normal way? So why not? And that was kind of the kicker. And then she got over here. I picked her up from the station, and it was all cool. I believe 4 or 5 days she stayed here. We ate together, and otherwise I was at work, and she hung out with my cat Lily and had her own time. And that's so interesting when you can actually come back from a big fallout, and then you come back to the point of like, yeah, I mean, that friendship was kind of cool, so why not? I mean, I believe that's not how it's supposed to happen. Like mostly I feel like when relationship ends, do relationship end on a good note ever?
It doesn't, no, because there were good notes, they wouldn't end. But I will say this: there's something to be said for like being around somebody 24/7. Well, maybe not 24/7 because y'all go to work or whatever, but like living with somebody. You know, I have certain friends that I love, but I just have to go visit them. Like if I'm around them all the time, and I'm sure I'm that friend to somebody else too. Like, oh, Mike is cool, but only an hour or two. You know what I mean? So, you know,
like a certain dosage is cool, but not more.
Certain dosage is cool, but yeah, you don't want to OD on this at all. But
exactly.
You know, so I think it's kind of the same thing in relationships. You know, it's a lot of times like people get along and then they move in together and they don't get along anymore. So sometimes the friendship is easier to maintain when they're not living with you.
Yeah, I feel that. Like currently we are actually on that spot currently that we are trying to find out how it all works. Like we're currently, my girl lives 1.5 hours away from me, which is pretty easy to drive. That's not big of a problem. And when we are actually together in my apartment or her apartment, we just click. I don't know why. We just straight up click. We cook together. That's a lot of fun. Intimacies is a lot of fun, and just watching movies and whatnot. I don't know. I never had that in that way that is just instantly clicked. And that we actually talked earlier about, I mean, the way it works, let's just try and lay down the cards end of 26. And now we're actually trying next week to bring together her dog and my cat.
That's important, man. It sounds small, but it's it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting because ahead of that, you know, my previous girlfriend had a cat of her own. And one should think cats work together, but that's a very specific chemistry you need to hit.
Yeah.
And these two didn't hit it off. Not at all. There was, I always like to tell that story because it's super funny. In my old place, the radiator went out 2 times. And those were the only 2 times those cats ever got near to each other.
They needed heat.
Went out, like really, they weren't even cuddling. They were like really like only like over like, okay, you're warm. And I'm warm. I'm getting over here. And then the radiator was back on. Yeah, thanks, I guess. And then they went out straight away. Like, no love. Like, all the love lost in an instant. Usually you do like, okay, close the door. And then the cats kind of smell each other. And then you get them kind of accustomed to each other. And then you open it up hours from that. And if you're lucky, that was just plain old done. My girlfriend now actually has the hope that her dog is that cool / somewhat scared of cats that it should work right away. I am highly skeptical.
Only one way to find out.
Exactly. Like how was that for you with yours? Like those weren't both of your pets, right? Or did you get them together and actually bring them together, or from the previous arrangements, so to speak?
So I kept, when Ginny left, I kept both cats because she moved out of the state. And I kept both of them, and I would have fought for them. It's like, she didn't try to take them, but if she would have tried to take them, I probably would have been sitting in the back of a cop car. But so I had a Bengal cat named Rogue and a calico named Storm, and they had both since gone across the Rainbow Bridge, but Rogue hated everybody. Storm kind of just chilled and kept to herself, and she really didn't seem to care that Nessa brought 4 animals with her. She brought Cherry and then 3 cats, Yukon, Herbie, and Ariel. And Rogue was the smallest out of all of them. She was a little Bengal cat, and she was very skinny and athletic. And she didn't have any claws. I actually got her and Storm declawed before I realized, like, this was years ago, before I knew that declawing wasn't something that you're supposed to do. I wouldn't do that again, but I was just pointing out the fact that she had none. That didn't stop her from wanting to kill everybody. Like, all the cats were all twice her size. The dog was twice her size. You know, she was a little Westie, but still twice Rogue size. And we had to barricade them. Like, we had to keep them apart from each other. And it probably took a good 8 months to a year before we got them to the point where we could just tolerate each other.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah. So, and it was a weird squad. Like, nobody hung out. Everybody interacted with each other a little bit and stuff like that. But Rogan, Storm, and my two were the only ones that like hung out with each other. Everybody else kind of just went about their business. And, you know,
I get you.
If I see bigger cats eating, I'll wait. Well, Rogue was an alpha, so she would just march right in there. But yeah, it took almost a year. It took almost a year.
It kind of feels to me like Rogue and Storm were both like you are what's left of previous homes, so I'll stick to that. You're somewhat like that, you know.
I think that Rogue was very territorial because this was her house.
Yeah,
like it even above me. Like, this is my house. I like the cat. You and the girl are cool, so you can stay here. But this is my house, and she was very offended by all these other filthy creatures coming in here.
Yeah, that's always what you say. Like, you mostly move in with your cat. The cat doesn't move in with you.
Right.
It's mostly what it is. Yeah, I feel for you, man. Like, I've seen your post on that fur family. Always, you were hit hard on that front, right? Like, a lot of them actually went over the bridge.
Yeah, we lost 5 out of 6. We only have aerial lift, and yeah, man, the last 3 went within 7 months of each other. We lost Storm last September, and we lost Yukon in January, and then we had to put Cherry down in I want to say March. So it was all within 7 months, and it was a rough time, man. Like, me, and I know you can speak to this too, because you don't have any kids, correct?
No.
So the pets are the kids, man, you know, and you know that when you get one, unless you get a turtle or like a parrot or some shit that's gonna live like 90 years, you're gonna have to, you know, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. And you do it anyway because they make you smile and they make you laugh a lot along the way, and they, you know, they changed me as a human being. I think once I had pets, it actually made me a better dude.
Yeah.
So there's all that, but man, when you lose that many, and it changes the vibe of the house, because you're just so used to coming in and seeing them in their spots and interacting with them and going to sleep, and the cats come up and like curl up with you, and that shit don't happen anymore. So it's a lot of the vibe of the house definitely changed. Yeah,
I feel that. Like, I also think about that. Like, I lost my parents pretty close to each other, and then Lily pretty much was all that's kind of left. And I always also I try to rip myself out of that, you know, that intrusive thought that someday I will get home and it's the day after, you know, and then it's that dead ass silent in the place, and everything will still be there because you couldn't probably clean it up yet, but everything's there except for that one most important part. And I'm like, yeah, one day. And then I look at her face and I say, but not yet. And that's the most important, you know, crawl out of that space. You still there, dude? Mike? Ja, Leute, ich weiß nicht gerade so ganz, was los ist. Ah, er ist rausgeflogen. Okay, dann wird er wahrscheinlich gleich wiederkommen. Das hat er sich wahrscheinlich auch anders vorgestellt. Ich mir auch gerade. Aber das kann ja auch mal passieren. Ich habe mich schon gerade gewundert, weil das so ruhig war. Und dann war... There he is.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I lost. Did you forget too?
Can you say something again?
Check. You in? Check.
Yeah. I'm here.
Okay, I can hear you too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I lost you for like 3 or 4 minutes, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. Stuff happens. I wanted to just hear what you're saying, because at the start when you were coming back in, it sounded kind of glitchy, but it's okay again. No, like what I've been saying was like only that there will be that one time when you get home, you know, it's the day after, and then everything will still be there. except for the one important part, you know. And then it's that point where it actually I'm starting to water up. But then I look at her face and I said, yeah, but not yet. You know, you gotta crawl out of that intrusive thought, because that's just gonna kill you.
It's tough, and it gets tougher as they get older. You know, like I would say once my cats both got to double digits, like Rogue was 11 and Storm was 10. I didn't like to think about it, but it would creep in the back of my head. Like, man, you know, one of these days it's they're not going to be here. And it's like you said, walking in the house, walking in the house the day after, knowing they weren't going to be there was one of the toughest parts, because it was the quiet, it was the noise, it was the lack of noise. Yeah. Not that the dog was barking all the time, and not that the cats were making all kinds of noise and shit like that, but you would just, you know, you would hear that the clicking of the claws on the hardwood floor that wasn't there anymore, and just there were certain things that were missing that was really tough. But you know,
that's also that's also
good life, man.
That's also what's gonna hit me, because she's just such a talkative cat, you know. Like whenever I get home, she can get by. Like she doesn't get at anything. She doesn't chew on any of the stuff whatsoever. Everything's pretty much out in the open. But once I get home, there's always this super high pitch meow. She comes talking to me and just wants to talk to daddy, because he wasn't there the whole day. So that's going to be, like you said, the roughest part, when the commotion is gone from the place, when there's a silence. Sometimes, you know, there is days, sometimes they just ignore you. Sometimes it's just there. It just happens, you know. But at that specific period, you're like, can you please just annoy me? Just be there, you know? And that's gonna be big ass rough.
I'll make you laugh. Oh, it's sad, but it's kind of funny. Cherry was never properly house trained, our dog.
Okay.
She shit on the floor every day. Every day.
Okay.
And she lived here for like 5 years. And one night we were laughing because it was like, well, she lived here 5 years, 365 days a year. This dog shit on the floor almost 2,000 times while she lived here. You know, and it was so annoying when it was going on. But like, man, when she was gone, it's like, I just want to go home and I want to see a dog turd on the floor again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even their shit that they did that like annoyed the hell out of you or like pissed you off, you miss.
Of course.
So, but
yeah, I guess so. But to get out of that dark hole kind of.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, dude, your comment section always cracks me up. I gotta say,
like the Reflector Files or on my own page,
as well as because I mean, you love fucking with people. You do it so well, and there are some supreme douchebags out in the open, right? Like, I mean, I feel like the potential for it got maxed this year. I don't know how. This generation just came up. And instead of screaming when coming out of the mama, they were just plain old douchebags straight up. How did that happen? How did these people came to be? I don't get it.
I think it's twofold. I think the internet, and I can't remember who said it first, but it's like, or it might have been a Mike Tyson thing. Like, the internet's made people too comfortable running their mouth, knowing that they're
no consequences.
You ain't got to worry about getting smacked in the mouth anymore. And that shit really pisses me off.
Yeah.
But two, and again, I'm not trying to bring politics into this thing, but our president has made being a D-bag kind of like socially acceptable. You know what I'm saying? People didn't used to act like this before he was around, man.
Kind of not, right?
No, I mean, listen, there was always douchebags out there and there was always people that ran their mouth and stuff like that. But I feel like now it's kind of like, I just remember being a kid and in the past, even if my parents did not like a specific president that we had at the time, it was still kind of like the president was still a respectful dude, even if he didn't agree with all his policies and all that shit. And we all respected and the office of the president and stuff like that. But yeah, man, Citrus Caligula, like he's different, you know, so he's just kind of like a
Caligula's good. I always like to say Captain Orange.
he really He's extremely like just loudmouth and belligerent and just doesn't give a shit. And I think that it's like, oh, well, the president's a dickhead. So like, it's just a bad example. You know what I mean? It's kind of made being a dickhead publicly way more socially acceptable than it should be.
Where you kind of come down to the thought process, keyboard warring Olympic sport?
Yeah. It might be, man. It might be. I just
it's super weird, and I feel like that whole thing, like I said, we're not dwelling too deep on politics or whatnot, but I feel like there's this weird standpoint on Americans in Germany that you are somewhat simple, I heard, which is weird because I always say that's just super one-dimensional. Few of the smartest guys I actually know, and also nicest guys, I always would hang. Like they told me, hey, whenever you are here in the spot, you got a room, you know, they're super nice, super cool and everything. And I feel like the whole picture on Americans is crooked due to politics.
Yeah, I just hope the rest of the world knows that we're not all like it's hard to stereotype the American in like one you know what I mean, as one person, like this is what all Americans do. But yeah, it's just I don't feel like we're putting a good vibe out to the rest of the planet, you know, and I just hope that the rest of the planet knows that it's not all of us. You know, there's a lot of stuff that many of us don't really agree with, and by not many I mean just about none.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird times, man. I don't know, simple. I would say some of us are probably simple.
Some, yeah.
I mean, like, but like there's being simple in a good way and being simple in a bad way. Like to me, like I'm simple. Like I'm not really looking for much. I'm looking for like just good food, robots, and I want to watch Eagles football on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like all this, it's all very simple things that I want. But I think the simple that you're referring to is like maybe an American that lives over here that just like they don't know how many states there are in the United States, like that, like maybe missing a tooth or two.
Yeah, or that the United States is 2025 years old.
It's the you know, the flat earthers and there's definitely some there's some doozies over here, you know.
It's weird times, and I feel like a certain, like maybe your page more so than a whole lot of us. I'm happy that mine doesn't attract that kind of people, because I mean you are a bigger in terms of social media presence with Reflector Files and whatnot than I am. So of course that's probably bound to attract more people. But I mean there's a supreme bit of douchebags in your comment section that and at an alarming rate, but at the same time funny.
Yeah, it is. So sometimes it is definitely funny, but I think that I've over the years have kind of made my stances known on social issues and things like that. I don't necessarily love to drag politics onto that page, but I think that I subconsciously was trying to mold that page into, not mold the page, but mold the fans that follow the fan group into, most of the time, most of the people that are on there regularly are decent and are cool and I've had a lot of good interactions, and they are mainly progressive, forward-thinking type people for the most part. But like you said, being that it is a public page, there are, I think, 128,000 followers on there, so it does get a little bit of like out onto the public. It gets pushed into the feed sometimes, and people see it that don't necessarily follow it. So I do get my fair share of dickheads, but they don't stay long.
Yeah, I feel so. Like that's what you said. You know, mostly you attract people that are there for bots, for some cool photography, and for a good time. You know, for some fun and shenanigans. Like whenever you might return with a new YouTube video that you do sparingly. Just really, that's a cool thing I like about your channel too, and your videos. You really only do videos if you have a good and worthwhile idea, and that comes up in a sea of videos just for doing videos.
Yeah.
And that's a topic I had with Dennis where we were driving to our wholesaler this week. Just do videos when you feel like it and when you have something worthwhile to say, and not like, hey, I need to feed my followers some more bullshit. And it's really just that.
See you later. I'm listening, but yeah, doing videos just for doing videos versus doing them when you really got something to, yeah. And I think when you have less, people are more likely to watch stuff when you put it out.
Yeah.
As opposed to if there's like, now that being said, if you're a reviewer, you want more content because your stuff is coming out. Yeah.
Somewhat. It's rough because in Germany, it's a way different way of viewing stuff. Like we are accustomed to the fact that, of course, the first are the Koreans to hit the pot, you know, and then mostly the UK or US are hitting up with videos you start to understand, because it's not the common thing to actually know English as a language and actually also able to speak it and at a good level.
Yeah.
So that's somewhat rough, but you have seen everything. It's the way of life somewhat to do it on a fast food kind of level. You just,
yeah,
the attention span of people are just too short with TikToks and Reels and short, you know, and they just click to points that they want. Ah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, thanks. And then you hit it as a German reviewer at a 20-minute mark. Let's just say 20 minutes. And that's just way too long. They click in and they say, okay, yeah, now I understand it. That's cool. But I know that stuff already, you know?
Yeah.
And so you are set up to lose big time.
Yep.
So there's that. Quite frankly, since you said as a reviewer you want more content, I only review what I'm really interested in, because otherwise I'm not going to push it anyway. I'm doing that shit since 2018. I got 2 channels which only amount to around 1.6K subscribers. That's nothing. Like in the whole sea of YouTube, that's pretty much nothing. And the more successful stuff I actually got is my Instagram account, but that's still not generating anything. So nah, I'm just doing it how I like it. And like I said, when I get something worthwhile, because I rather be someone in a small sea and people watch me for the stuff I say, instead of just like, oh, it's another of those 23 videos in a week of 7 days. And that's just not me.
No, I hear you. I mean, that's good for like twofold. Number one, if you're only reviewing stuff that you like, it's going to show through, because if you're reviewing something just for the sake of reviewing it or whatever, there's going to be like a lack of enthusiasm, you know, no matter how much you try to put the face on in the video or whatever, or in your voice and stuff. Like, so when you really like something, that's going to really come through in the review. But also too, and I will compare it to the band that I'm in. If you keep it to just doing stuff that you like doing and that you want to do, and it's a little bit less, it doesn't feel like a job.
No,
you know, my band is a job. I practice, I go there, I play, I'm working because you're paying me at the end of the night. It's a job. I don't get fucked up when I'm playing. Like I take it very seriously, because I'm working a job, but we only do it like 2 or 3 times a month. So it definitely does not feel like a job. It feels like a party. You know?
It's just an extension of the hobby.
Yeah, and then you put money in my hand at the end of the night, and it's just an even better thing. But anything, as any hobby, anything that you do for a hobby, man, the last thing you want to do is make it feel like work. You know? Yeah,
exactly. That's where I was at some time. That it felt like work, like a chore, and I came like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was at a time where my hobby was not making fun. I did not have fun fiddling with my stuff, and I did a break for, I believe, half a year, maybe I don't know, maybe 9 months, something like that. And then I came back and I was like, yeah, I miss doing the videos, you know. And then I said, for a limited time only, I'm back, and once I'm actually done or being content with what I got and saying that's good, then I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be doing probably only Instagram, doing the news, and then I'll be good. That's all that is. And I think, and I feel I can only recommend that to anyone. Like, if you want to do that, make sure you have fun with that and nothing else. Nothing else. Because
you don't want it to be an obligation. You want to something you want to do. You want it to be what you want to do.
Exactly. But coming back on the term of fun as a last thing and with your Starscreen and whatnot, is it still fun?
It's the work. So I never hated my job.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of the same stuff that I did at the old job. Like when it comes to computer graphics and stuff, that wasn't really the part of it that I didn't like. So I'm still continuing to do that part of it as it always was. But it's almost like now it's early. I've only been at it three months so far, but it feels like fun because it just feels very gratifying knowing that when I get paid for a job, like it's mine, it's my money. And I'm working for myself. So I would say sometimes it's just you're doing it for money. I guess my fun part of my job is the design part of it, not necessarily installations or any kind of like production work. Like the design part is fun, but I think I get the fun out of when I do my t-shirts. That's work and that's graphic design, but that's the fun part, when I get to kind of do that stuff, where it's not a job where you're coming to me and saying, hey, I need, a sign and I need business cards and I need this and that and the other thing. Like you do that for a living. But with my t-shirt design stuff, I have no customer. I have an idea in my head and it might be a funny idea and I get to draw it and I get to make it come to life. And then I stick it on a shirt. And if people choose to buy it because they think it's awesome, that's even better. But the design part of it, there's nobody asking for it. It's just me doing it on my own. So that's probably the most fun that I have, doing something that would be considered work outside of playing guitar. Guitar is definitely that's number one.
Yeah. I guess so. Like I got a question for you on the topic of being kind of inspired for a logo, but also somewhat in a connection of a customer. I'll elaborate. So do you see a company and think like, okay, that logo is cool, I could maybe come up with something great, and you approach that company, and did something come to fruition out of that idea? Or were also companies coming towards you and say, yeah, we got that, and we've seen you actually now on freelance, would you like to come up with something new? And then you come up with something new and they keep it? Or is the change, or are there big changes involved, or do they also stay on your idea?
The couple of logos that I've done so far in the early going were like people coming to me looking for brand new logos, like they didn't have anything previously. The last two that I did, the first client, I sent them version number 1 and they loved it and the job was over.
Cool.
There was another client. Now I don't get mad at it because everybody pays an hourly rate. So if I work, the first one I didn't make much money on it because I nailed it right away, but I didn't do that much work, so I didn't get paid a whole hell of a lot. There was another one that I did that had maybe like 8 or 9 revisions.
8 or 9. Wow.
Yeah. And there were some that were pretty drastic differences and stuff like that. But the customer was on their, they were on it. It wasn't like I sent it to them and I wouldn't hear back from them in 2 days. Like it was, I sent it to them and within minutes, hey, can you try this? Can you try that? Which is nice. You know what I mean? When there's good communication.
That helps. An actual dialogue. You're not asking for an answer all the time. And you're sitting there, oh God.
Yeah. But I haven't really approached anybody that had a bad logo yet, but I will approach people that have, like, for instance, for real, right before we started this podcast, there is a general contractor working on a house across the street, and he has his truck out there and he's got magnets, his business magnets on the side. They look like they're older than me. And he had a garbage sign out front, and he had since changed his phone number. And he just took like sticker numbers that he bought somewhere and just slapped them one number at a time on there. I see stuff like that. And I actually went over to him. I'm like, hey man, I live in this house across the street and I'm a graphic designer and I make magnets and signs and this and that. And I said, it looks like yours have seen better days. So let's give you my business card. And he was like, yeah, it's probably time, you know, give me some prices. Like, so and there's one thing about me, I will tell you, I'm not afraid to talk to people, like, because the worst thing that somebody can ever say to you is no. And if they say no, it's like, all right, cool. And you walk away, but you just don't know what's coming. You know, sometimes you get work.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid to open my mouth.
That I know that's one of your one of the positive traits. I feel like that's something that's also sorely missing from this day and age. Like what we said before, like, you know, comment section is always pretty much protected. Everybody can talk shit, but out in the open, you got that lid in your face. You know, use it if you got a problem or whatever. Just vent your frustrations, get out of it. It helps. It really helps. I mean, for some people, you're just too direct. You will always encounter such people. That's the way of life. But if there's something and there's a potential to help, and he's like, oh yeah, maybe you're right? I mean, it works kind of, but something new would be nice. Why not? That's also interesting. It's an interesting thing on that topic. That's something that I just learned of, that you guys actually use these business magnets, like just these big kind of slabs of magnetic, somewhat foil or whatnot that's printed on, and you just slap it on a van or whatever. I've never seen that. That's super dope.
So the reason we do that is, even in my situation, now I don't have any myself, but the contractor, maybe his truck is a personal truck that he also uses for work. Yeah. So maybe he don't want to use his, like, if you put permanent decals on the truck, now it's a work truck 100% of the time. And now you got to go, you know, you want to take it on you're using it for a vacation, or you're going to pick your kids up, or you're whatever, like, you have all the shit on it. Not that it's a big deal, but some people like the idea of having a magnet. That way, when they work during the day, they could put the magnet on, and it's a work truck. And then at nighttime, they could just take the magnet off, and true. And so it's less permanent, you know. So there's a lot of that over here. That's
also probably due to the whole kind of trend thing that everybody's starting to convert any van whatsoever into a living vehicle. You know, like these stealth or camo vans where you just live in. They just totally convert, and I believe that's also a problem when you have, like you said, the permanent ones. It's got to be tax deductible, but in that way, you can just take it off or put it on, and then you're just open to whatever. Now that's just your old school Dodge Ram. You know, I just use it as a van, but then on daytime 9 to 5, that's my business.
The work for you. Yep.
That's 100%. That's super dope. That's super dope. Like, what are you actually all doing? You are of course media design, but shirts, logos as a general, magnetics, like truck planes,
business cards, banners, signs. Sometimes I go and put lettering on business, like their storefront windows. Vehicles, I've lettered vehicles. Actually, earlier today I was at a place called Cardinal CT, and I was putting logos on the side of their trailers. Like, they have a ton of tractor trailers, so I was putting these big, and they're big. They're like 5 foot by 6 foot, maybe, around about. They're pretty big. Actually,
usual trailer.
Are you friends with Chris Bishop?
Yeah.
I just want to give him a quick shout out, because I work with him. He has a sign shop called IID Signs, and I don't have a vinyl cutter or a printer. So whenever you see me doing vehicle lettering, Chris I design it, I send it to Chris.
Cool.
I pay Chris to print it and cut it, and then he mails it to me, and then I go out and put them on. So that's cool too, because I get to make money, but I also get to support, you know, a friend of mine that has a business as well. So
that's cool.
So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I pretty much, if you could print on it, I could do it.
Yeah.
Book, you know, posters and all kinds of stuff, banners.
Did you do something before you were actually doing media design, starting media design, or was that always kind of your, let's say, dream endeavor or whatnot?
I don't know that it was my dream endeavor. I think it was my dream endeavor to be the starting center fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. But I would say that my entire adult life, I was working in print shops. I got my first job, my first major job, like a full-time, was at 19. I shouldn't say full-time. I worked full-time before that, but like my first print shop job was at 19. I was a sign shop. You know, so I've worked at a couple of different sign shops and a t-shirt shop.
Mm-hmm.
And this last one was like a print shop. So I kind of like, yeah, it was just basically a lifetime of working in shops like that and kind of like picking up a little bit of knowledge. You know, this shop that I worked for did this right, it did this wrong. This shop did this right, did this wrong. And I tried to take a little bit from each shop that I worked at along the time. I've been drawing since I was old enough to hold a pencil. So I basically got a lifetime worth of drawing experience and 30 years worth of print shop experience. And I graduated from college at age 36 with a couple of I didn't go back to school until I was late, until I was a little bit older. But I graduated with 2 degrees in graphic design. So it's like, if I can't make it on my own with all those tools, I'm never going to be able to make it. So,
yeah,
you know,
it's somewhat like, if I can do it now with all that stuff that I've actually learned through the years, what am I even doing? Pretty much.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's time. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. Like I just turned 49. So now is a good time to decide like what I want to be when I grow up, I guess.
Yeah, back in the day I was actually thinking about several things. Like I always wanted to go like in archaeology, because I mean pretty much every kid loved dinosaurs, you know?
Me too, man. Yeah,
so that was kind of always in the back of my head. But then my dad was a truck driver, so that was also somewhat like, yeah, trucks are cool, you know. I'm still kind of deep into that. Like currently got across on a new channel, the Kenworth guy in Canada. So I'm always into that stuff, but I mean, I'm happy that I can do like my media design that I do now on my own. I never learned that. I actually, my previous girlfriend, where we had that fallout, she actually is a media designer, learned media designer. So I learned Illustrator and Photoshop from her.
Yeah.
And now we do everything on our own. You know, Dennis also with Sentinel Bay Reviews, he does all his stuff, and it's just better to be free. And mostly you can help yourself on tutorials and whatnot, but I'm happy to say that if I have an idea in my mind, I can do it.
That's exactly right. That's, I don't ever let whatever you feel like your current pool of knowledge and talents is, don't ever let something be outside of that. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that you don't currently know how to do, like you said, YouTube, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I learned a lot in college. I went to a local community college for a couple of years, and they had a really good program. It was Northampton Community College. They had a really good program. I learned a ton there, but I will tell you that I learned way more after school than I did in school. They gave me a good base to work with, but YouTube is crazy. They got tutorials on just about every damn thing that you could think of. And there's, if you don't currently know how to do something, you could if you search. For sure.
Absolutely. Like, and what YouTube doesn't get you, Reddit will probably get you. Because Reddit, people like Reddit is a whole nother cesspool, you know. But you can find anything. Like I've just gotten into a little bit of retro gaming. I love my Super Nintendo. But the problem is the current screens and whatnot, they don't show the graphics that well. It's looking pretty horrible. But I also don't want to be sitting at my rig and then do ROMs and do that. And there's this whole new industry of retro handhelds where you can put up the ROMs and you play it like a Game Gear or a Game Boy or whatever. And so this shop that I bought that handheld from actually said, hey, super cool, super easy. You can play retro and whatnot. You just throw your ROMs on there and you're good to go. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. You have like the choice which operating system you want on there. You need to know where to put the ROMs. You know, there's always not the same ROM. There's stuff where the sound is a little bit wonky or a little bit out of tune to the game or whatnot. So you always have to check for stuff and then know where to actually put it. And what was it, like, I don't know, 80,000 something members in the Reddit community for that handheld. It's called an Anbernic. So I posted the question. I was like, okay, this is a super basic question, but I just jumped headfirst into this. I want to do retro gaming, but I don't know jack fucking shit. So how is this, that, anything? Within 5 minutes, I was set up. And that's just like what you said with YouTube or Reddit, you want to find something, you will absolutely find something, and you are taking care of that. That's the cool thing about today. There's so much internet going on. Any knowledge that ever was and probably will be in the internet for the
no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. And now I will tell you the downside of it.
Yeah,
I seen way too many like 10-year-old kids playing guitar way better than I'm ever gonna be able to play it on YouTube. Man. Like there's like if I pull up YouTube and I click on a video, it's like this like 10-year-old kid playing Eruption from Eddie Van Halen, like note for note, and I'm like, oh man, I'm 49 years old. I've been playing for almost 30 years, and I could practice until I die, and I will never be able to play as good as that kid.
That's frustrating on another level.
It's frustrating. I mean, it's not too frustrating because I understand that some people are just built different, man. Like I don't want to call them mutants, but they're basically mutants. You know, some people, you know, they have some sort of like athletic ability that the rest of us don't have, or I'm not saying that they don't practice and they don't work at their craft, but I feel like some human beings are just built with some sort of little extra that some of us don't have. And I don't have it like that.
That's true. But you know, like what you said with my girl, universe will set you up. That's something that I try to do as a mindset. There's always a positive to it. Quick question. Can you actually process milk? There's a point to this. Are you lactose intolerant? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. I thought it was a trick question there for a second.
See, then you are a mutant, because humanity is starting to get more and more lactose intolerant. The people that can actually process milk are the mutants nowadays.
Yeah, Nessa can't. Nessa can't. Yeah. But so I don't know a whole hell of a lot about that, but I heard somewhere along the way we ain't even supposed to be drinking milk anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse and worse. So the people that are lactose intolerant are actually the norm. That is get more and more.
But I'm gonna tell you something, though, man. Nothing's better than a glass of big tall glass of chocolate milk, man. I don't care. Like, chocolate milk and the occasional strawberry yoo-hoo. You know what I mean?
I get that. I get that. We got that German company over here, Schocomel. You know, when you set yourself up for a good glass of cocoa, you know, and you put in a few scoops of that, and then you're in that maybe one more, and then it's too much. You never hit that sweet spot.
Right.
Schocomel in Germany has the exact mixture of what you need.
Yeah. They made it. Years of experimentation and trial and error probably to get to the perfect formula, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Dude, man, that was good times, man. But it's getting late over here. But I wanted to see you again, and it's been way too long. I need to see when I set myself up to get over there again. Probably with my girl then, hopefully. So before we leave here, dude, let everybody know what you do, where they can find you, and what your services are.
Well, my main job, as we talked about a little bit, is graphic design and printing, and that I don't have a website yet, but I do have a page on Facebook. It's Starscreen graphics, so just like the Transformer, except SCREEN as opposed to Scream. And so that's a lot of graphic design, printing, business cards, banners, signs, magnets, tablecloths, like all kinds of different stuff. And then I got the Dragonstar That's where I have all my own designs, my t-shirt designs. This isn't one of them, obviously.
It would be nice if it would, right?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking in marketing mode. But yeah, I have a lot of pop culture mashup type t-shirts on there. That's dragonstarsshop.com. I got a band called Social Call. If you're anywhere near Pennsylvania in the United States, we play locally, about an hour and a half north of Philly. And then I have another recording project called the McCullen Project. That's my old drummer from Angel Down and me, and we're a two-man wrecking crew. We record, and he lives in North Carolina now, so we record remotely. And what else? And the Reflector Files. I have a lot of shit going on. Yeah. I'm sorry, too many plugs, but the Reflector Files is on Facebook and Instagram. If you're into Transformers and other nerd stuff, you can come by and visit. And every once in a while, we pick on douchebags across the internet. So that's fun too. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, but I believe the contract is up for 36-hour a day, right? I mean, I believe you could use it, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. No, man, that's your segment right there. That's all good. I already set up most of the links. I will put in the Starscreen one. I put that down in the description so people can look it up.
I appreciate it.
Always, man. I had a great time. It was good to see you again, dude. Also, Vanessa, even though short.
Yeah.
And I hope I catch you on a convention, or maybe, like I said, when I get down to Pennsylvania one of these days. Also, just short, your booth has been crazy big. Like, I remember the few tables at TFCon 2018, and now it's like,
it's grown. Yeah, it's definitely, it's every show's a learning experience. So
yeah,
you know.
it is. That's also what we feel.
I did want to tell you, well, number one, I just want to echo what you said. It was very cool talking to you again. It's been a minute. It was thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Two, if you come over to the United States for a con, it will be great to see you. Three, I don't know how far you are, or how, if you go to TF Nation ever. Do you ever go to TF Nation? I
was at TF Nation this year.
Yeah, well, if you plan on going next year, then you will be seeing me and Nessa.
No,
yeah,
dude, I will 100%. That was actually the plan, to get over there yearly now, actually. So that is dope. You're getting over here.
Yeah, we made a friend of mine named Doors from the UK. We met him through the Blackout and Shout podcast. And I know
we actually met him. We actually got to learn to get to know him, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because Dennis knew him from the Hangouts with Bobby.
Yeah.
And then we got to talk to him. That's cool.
So he actually made it over here for a TFCon. Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe? And yeah, and we actually let him stay here. You know, so he said if we ever come over to the UK, to let him know, and you know, he would have a spot for us and stuff. And my 50th birthday is next August. TF Nation is always in August, as far as I know. So it just kind of, you know, became a plan. So yeah, we haven't made any solid plans yet, because we don't know when the date is yet exactly. But as soon as they release a date, we will be.
There is a date.
Oh, is there a date?
They actually released it on their site already. The date is, wait up real quick. Photos, where is it? The funny part is the small one actually showed it. And then it didn't quite show. Where was it? I gotta scroll down a little bit. Where is it? Man, I know they showed it. I have to look it up. I will send it over to you on the messenger, but that date is already known.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, as soon as I get that, then we can kind of figure out. We want to come over for a full week, probably.
Cool.
So hit the con, but also leave a little bit of time just to, you know, see some land. I've never been overseas before, so I'm sure there's going to be some stuff Doors is going to want to show me. But in London, there's an actual Philadelphia bar in London.
No, really?
Yeah, they have Phillies and Eagles and 76ers and Flyers stuff on all the walls and everything. So I'm like, oh man, we gotta. So that's kind of like a spot I want to hit. But yeah, we want to come over for a week and, you know, hit the con, but hang out with some. You know what I mean? We met a lot of people from over. I mean, you and Doors, Sam's Formers, and there's definitely definitely a good handful of friends from over there I want to hang out with. So
yeah, sounds like a great setup for a great time. No, we went there over there. I was in London in 23 the first time. I didn't know that actually. Me and my girl, we want to hit London again at the start of 26. So I will see if I can check out that Philly bar, and I give you a few photos or whatnot. Then you know a little bit better.
Yeah.
And Birmingham, we were actually also lucky with TF Nation. Now we got there super early because different flights didn't go. So we were there in the early or morning hours. We weren't even able to check into a hotel. So we were able to actually check out the old Canal Line in Birmingham, where the Black Sabbath bridge is located.
Oh, that's cool.
With the Aussie tribute, and the central station in Birmingham with Aussie the Ox and the whole graffiti tag they did. So amazing. We were so lucky with the weather. Beautiful town, actually. There was this kind of I don't know, African festival going on at the what is it, Victory Plaza. So there's definitely stuff to be
do.
had.
Yep,
absolutely.
We're looking forward to it.
And the concert and the whole con is super cool. Everything is super warm, extremely exclusive. I talked to Simon Furman. I talked to James Roberts, Nick Roach. So that's amazing. I met Sue Adams. We are actually doing now a little collaboration with David Cousins that's doing Terminator and Transformers artworks. He did the drawing of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. You maybe saw that, his version of Rodimus, Galvatron, and Death's Head.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, I got his print, and we're actually working now on the shirt together. We'll do from that.
Awesome.
So it's a great time. We want to do that yearly because the trip is not too expensive. It's pretty much neighborhood, you know.
Yeah.
Super dope. So when you're there, dude, that would be terrific, man.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, then you'll definitely be I don't know when you're coming over here next, but next year, if you're at TF Nation, we'll definitely get to hang out.
That sounds like a plan, man. All right, dude. So for now, I would say enjoy your rest of the day. Like I said, it was a great time to see you, man. And I will get you that date for TF Nation, and we'll just stay in the DMs, I would say.
All right, sounds good, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, man. Mike, take care.
Yep,
see you soon. Bye-bye, man.